Hey everyone, my name is Megan, and this is Painted and Distressed. Today's video is going to be a compilation of some of my favorite Easter and spring projects, as well as a new project. I hope you enjoy. This first project, we're going to make a face mask hanger, and I know a lot of parts of the country no longer wear face masks, but here in California we still do, especially for kids in school. So I need a place to hang my mask. So I'm just taking this sign that I got on clearance from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just sanding the glitter. I think I got this for, like 59 cents last year or something like that, and I've just had it in my stash, and so I decided to put it to some use. So now at first I took this beautiful peel and stick wallpaper from Dollar Tree and thought I was going to use this as my background. So I traced it, cut it out, and carefully put it onto this board. And I took the time to smooth it all out, sand the edges, and get it nice and perfect and exactly how I wanted it. And I really like this peel and stick. It's very easy to use. And then I took these 3 little hanging signs from Dollar Tree, and all I wanted was just the hangers, so I had something to hang my masks on. So I'm just unscrewing them and gonna use the other pieces for maybe a later project, just putting them back in my stash. Now, as you can see, they're a little uneven. One is a little wider than the other, but whatever. So I took them outside and I spray painted them black, and then now I'm just going to screw them back into the sign. And then once I screwed them back in the sign, I got out my Cricut and I cut out the word mass, which is kind of like duh. Once you see them hanging on there, you know that's what it is. But I don't know, I just felt like it needed this. And then I took a step back and decided I don't like it. So then I took everything apart. Well, I basically just unscrewed the hooks, and then I got out one of my scrapbook paper books, and I decided to go with this background instead. And this is a scrap paper book from Hobby Lobby. It has all different types of designs. It has some buffalo check in it, some florals, and some lattice looking paper. I don't know. I like it, and it comes in all different colors. So I chose this one, a kind of neutral but springy look to it. So I just got out my Mod Podge and I just attached it on top of the peel and stick wallpaper. And the only tricky part about this was trying to line up or find a good way to line everything up so it didn't just look like a piece of scrapbook paper and then another one slapped on top. So I tried to find a piece in the scrapbook paper that matched the best, if you will. And so that's what I did. And I just, again, used some Mod Podge and my little Cricut scraper to make sure there was no air bubbles in it. And I did put some Mod Podge on top of the paper as well, just to make sure it had a long-lasting hold, and gave it a little bit of a different look so that way it didn't just look like paper on a board. And so once that was dry, then I didn't have to recut. Luckily, I salvaged the original mass sign that I had. And so I just reattached the mass sign, and then I added some eyelet hooks and a little bit of faux leather ribbon to the top. And then this project was all done. And I would love to know your thoughts down below if you like the first peel and stick wallpaper or if you like the floral. This next project is actually from one of my first videos that I posted, which was only last year. And so I took, as you can see, the carrots from that Dollar Tree sign. They do have these this year. And I just took some scrapbook paper and attached it to the top of each one of them. And I did rip off the paper. And same with this Welcome Spring sign that is also from Dollar Tree. And I liked it because of the different edges on them and stuff. And I apologize for the film quality is not that great, but this was one of my first videos, and so I still am, just learning how to film. So, and this was also at my dining room table. So then once I got all the paper off, then I just took some Waverly chalk paint in white and I gave it a good coat on the entire board. This might be one of my favorite projects, even though the film quality is terrible, but I love how this turned out. And then I took a pencil and then a paint marker, and I added some faux shiplap lines down each of the ridges, if you will, of the board. And I had to make sure they were even. And then I just took some burnt umber and I went around the entire edge of the sign, and then I also did some distressing on the inside of all over the sign as well. And I just I wanted it smooth. I didn't want it to look like paint strokes, but I did want it to look a little grungy, if you will, or a little distressed. So I just tried to find some places that I wanted it to be distressed. So then I went through and I took some sandpaper just to soften up all of those paint strokes to make it look a little bit more organic in with the board, and like it was actually distressed than just paint strokes. And then I just took some of this burlap ribbon from Hobby Lobby to make a little pocket on the front of the sign. And then I cut apart one of these treat sacks from Dollar Tree, and then I took some heat transfer vinyl and I just put on it carrots 5 cents, as you can see, and then I just hot glued it to the front of, and I also distressed the edges of it as well, of course. And then I just hot glued it to the little pocket. And then I took the carrots that I attached with the scrapbook paper and I hot glued them inside the pocket, and then I took some thumbtacks that I spray painted black and I cut off the sharp parts of them, and then I just hot glued it to all 4 corners of the pocket. And then I just took some moss, which is very messy, I know, but I love it, especially in this particular project. And I just attach it using, I tucked some into the pocket, but then I also used some spray glue, and then I added some of that faux leather ribbon as a hanger, and then this was all done. And I just love how this came out. I think it's so cute. Oh, it looks like I did add some bows to the carrots as well, and a little button on each of them. And I just think this is so cute and so easy to replicate as well. And this next project is also from the same video. And I'm just taking one of these crates from Dollar Tree and the same scrapbook paper book. This is actually the same one I used for the mask hanger as well. And so I just on the top used some light blue buffalo check scrapbook paper on the top, and I did paint the crate a light blue It's a Waverly chalk paint. I am so sorry again for the quality of this video. Technology. And then I added some, with my Cricut, I just cut out, oh, hello spring, on the front of the book stack. And then I took some of this, a wired ribbon from Dollar Tree, it's burlap, and I'm just hot gluing it to the top. And then I take some of this really pretty lace ribbon, also from Dollar Tree, and hot glue that in the center. And then I just took some really pretty flowers that I got from, oh, those are from Walmart, and then also some wood beads to the top, along with some jute. And then this project was done as well. And this wreath is really cute too. So I just took one of these bunny cutouts from Dollar Tree. They have them this year as well. And I painted it using Waverly chalk paint in mineral. And then I dry brushed heavily on top of it using Waverly white. And as you can see, it's a heavy dry brush. And then I just took a wet wipe and just took away all of the paint strokes, but also gave it that vintage wash. So it's kind of like a paint wash almost. But I really like this technique because it still shows the underneath color, but it's not so stark. And then I also don't have brush strokes everywhere, so it doesn't look fake. I don't know, I just like this. And I just went over a little bit more to add a little bit extra detail on some of the edges and places where it would actually be distressed. And then I have this welcome wreath that is also from Dollar Tree, and I spray painted it black. And then I'm just gonna hot glue it to the front of the bunny, which I guess technically is the back of the bunny. And then I had a variety of greenery and florals. The florals are all from Dollar Tree. I thought they were really pretty last year, but they have them again this year. They're such a really pretty color and decent quality. But anyways, so I added some of this boxwood from Walmart to the front of, or to the bottom of the welcome wreath, and I thought I was going to add some of these flowers. And I hot glued everything on there. Thought it gave it a nice little springy look. And then some more greenery. This is from Dollar Tree. I think they call it wheatgrass or something. Actually, this is from Walmart. I'm so sorry. And then I ripped everything off and decided, or the boxwood off, and I decided I only wanted the wheat picks on each side with a little bit of the boxwood poking through. And so that's what I did. I mean, that, you know, that's real life. You take apart things, you put things together. I mean, not everything is going to be perfect when you're crafting. So I like to make sure to show those parts because I'm definitely not a perfect crafter by any means. And then I just took some of this baker's twine that was black and white black and white striped to be able to hang it. And then a little black and white gingham bow on the front for a little added embellishment. And then this project was done. And I love this. I'm still putting it out this year. I just think it's so cute. And then this is from a different video. All of these videos, the original videos, will be linked down below. But I'm taking this sign that I got from Dollar General, which here in Southern California, we don't have many Dollar Generals, but there is one that I found. And so I gave it a couple coats of Waverly chalk paint in the color white. And then I'm taking some of these peel and stick tiles and I'm cutting them down to the size of the frame. I don't really like working with these because the sticky part on the back, between the sticky part in the back and the subway tiles, there's like this there's like an air pocket. Now when I cut it, I was able to get out a lot of the air, but I don't know. I don't like working with it. I do like how this project turned out, but anyways, so with just a piece of a cardboard box, then you can barely tell, but I did trace out a triangle shape, but my daughter also wanted to help as well. So anyways, I am just cutting that out using my rotary cutter. And then I take some of this chicken wire, which this was the first time I had ever used chicken wire before. And I have so much left over because I couldn't find just a little amount. I had to buy a huge roll from Lowe's. So anyways, so then I'm just cutting it out bigger than the actual triangle, but I am going to staple it using my heavy duty stapler, and I'm just going to staple that all on there. And then I took some spray glue and I highly doused the cardboard with it, and then now I'm just taking the reindeer moss and I am just shoving it all down in there. It's kind of like a little pocket that we made again. But spray glue works wonders with reindeer moss or any type of moss or really anything that's loose like this, because once it dries, then it's dried. And I get my spray glue from Dollar Tree, and it stays, and I don't have moss all over my house when I'm doing projects like this or when I have them hanging. And so that's how I do it. You can probably use like clear spray paint as well, but I like the glue. It dries fast too. So anyways, I just shoved the moss in there as much as I could to get it completely filled, because I liked the contrast between the chicken wire and the moss. And then I just took my spray glue and I highly doused it. And then of course I gave it a couple taps to make sure. So for any of the loose pieces of moss, I got those off as well. So then I took some of this wired jute cord from Dollar Tree and I cut it down. I'm going to use this as the handle. And then I was trying to decide with flowers. I think this is the part that I'm always indecisive about. And so first I decided I was going to put these daisies in there, but I don't know. I wasn't really liking it. I wanted it to be full, and I didn't have enough daisies at the time, and so I ended up just putting in these little mini roses instead, which you'll see in just a minute. And the little mini roses are from Hobby Lobby. And you get quite a bit, and they're not that expensive. I don't remember, I think it was like $2 or $3, and you get quite a bit. I like to cut up my florals anyway, so anyways. So I just decided to use these. I thought these were really pretty, the pinks and the yellows. And I'm just kind of channeling my inner Miyagi, Mr. Miyagi, and I'm giving these a little trim just to make sure there's no scragglies or anything like that, and just making sure it looks all nice and neat with the reindeer moss. And these little scissors are from Dollar Tree, and they work so well, especially at projects like this when you need to do fine detailing and work and stuff like that. They work really well. And then I had this free sample of a chalk couture, which I don't typically, I don't use, but I just had it. And so for this particular project, I used it, and a little tag. And so it all came together in like this free little kit or something. And so I just wanted to try it out, but I could have easily done this with my Cricut. And so I just put that on the front, and then I had a little hook from Dollar Tree that was clear, and I just spray painted it black to hang the little rose pocket thing, and then some black beads as the hanger, and then this project was done. I think it turned out so cute, and I'd love to know your thoughts down below. So this next project, this was a dupe. It was a Pottery Barn dupe, and so I'm just taking some of this cotton rope from Dollar Tree, and I'm just unspooling it so that way it's not so thick. And then I'm just taking my hot glue and I'm starting my base basically, and so I'm just wrapping it around itself and burning myself tremendously. So make sure you are I would actually recommend using a more detailed tip glue gun. This was before I had my detailed tip glue gun, and so anyways, so we're making a flower basket, and it was something that I saw at Pottery Barn. And so I'm using that bucket as my guide, but basically I'm just keep wrapping it around itself and then going up. And so that's why I made the base with just the one part of the cotton, and then I'm actually using all 3 pieces of the cotton rope going up. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, the full video is linked down below. And so I just keep going down around, and I'm again using this bucket as a guide of how tall I want it, and to make sure that it does stay the same size as well. I mean, you can even just wrap it around an actual bucket. It would probably keep its shape as well. I still actually have this hanging, and it works really well. So I decided to use, I was just showing the 2 different types of nautical rope from Dollar Tree, because one is 9.5 feet and one is, I believe, 8 feet or something like that, or 9, whatever. Anyways, because one is thinner than the other, and for this particular one, I used the thinner one. And the original Pottery Barn picture had the 2 different colors of the rope, and so that's why I was using this. And so for the end, I just tucked it inside, and then I painted some thumbtacks using some burnt umber. And then I took some of that faux leather ribbon and I used that as my hanger. And then I put the thumbtacks, I hot glued them, but I also put those. And then I just added some faux tulips in the inside. And then this project was done. And it's really cute because you can add different, different things for different seasons, or different flowers and greenery for different seasons. Now this project was something that I saw Courtney from Creative on the Cheap do, and so I just had to do it because I thought it was so cute. So I'm taking this sign from Dollar Tree, and of course, as always, taking it apart and smoothing out with some sandpaper, just smoothing it all out to get it ready to be painted. And so I just painted it using Waverly chalk paint in the color white, and I gave it, I would say, probably 2 coats. Yeah, I had to for sure give it 2 coats. And then the fun starts. So I'm basically doing a basket weave here, and I'm using some actual raffia. I always forget what this stuff is called because a lot of times I use a hula skirt instead because it's just easier to work with. But this was actual raffia that I had gotten from Walmart, and so I just taped it down to the width of the sign. And then I just started doing a basket weave, and then I go as far down. I went a little bit longer than the sign so I could tuck it under so there wasn't just, so it looked more cohesive. But this is very easy to do. So I would start with over, and then I would start with under. Yeah, this is before I had my studio set up. So my cats made appearances in almost every one of my videos. And so the last one I started over, and then this one I started under. See, these cats love the raffia. He had too much fun playing with it. So once I got it to the length that I wanted, then I just applied it using some hot glue. Now this was a little tricky because I had to make sure that, because it moved around a lot, so I had to make sure that it was straight and even and all that good stuff. But once I got the hang of it, then it was smooth sailing. But it was a little difficult. It looks like it's very labor intensive, but it's not. it took me, I don't know, 10 minutes or something, because it's not a big sign, and I was only using the top part of it, which is now the bottom part, if that makes sense. So then once that was all glued in, then I just took some of these mini roses from Hobby Lobby and some boxwood, and I just kind of placed them all in there. I hot glued everything as well, but I was just trying to decide the placement and what flowers and greenery I actually wanted to use. And then I added a nautical rope to hang it, and then this project was done. And I thought this was so cute as well. So this next project, I took this super cute sign, which it almost pained me to take it apart because it was so cute. It's from Dollar Tree, and I really liked it. I don't particularly like the glitter on it, but I loved the little truck and how the flowers on it were so soft and so pretty and so springy, but I took it apart. And this is back when I actually got all the paper off of everything, and it took quite a while. Once I got it all off, then I just took some Waverly chalk paint in white, and I gave it 2 coats. And once that was dry, then I took some Waverly antiquing wax and I dry brushed all over the entire piece. And I just wanted this, I wanted to make sure to get the edges and just to make sure it was all soft. And then I took this sticker from Dollar Tree that was so pretty. I loved it. I loved the flowers on it and the saying "Bloom from Within." And so then I just attached it to the board, and then I took some matte Mod Podge and applied it to the entire sticker because it's very, very shiny, and so I wanted to dull down that shine as much as possible. And then I took some white paint to lighten it up and to also have it kind of blend in a little bit more so it didn't look like just a sticker on top of the sign. And so then I just kind of dry brushed a little white chalk paint all over the sticker. And then I added some jute twine and just kind of wrapped that around a few times on the side of it and hot glued it to the back. Now I did add some craft paper to the back of it as well. And then I had these really pretty flowers from Walmart that I got last year, but they do have them again this year, and they're so pretty. And so I added that, and then a jute twine with some wood beads I had in my stash, and I used that as the hanger, and then this project was done. And this is how it turned out. I love it so much. I think it's so cute. And that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this compilation of some of my favorite projects that I have released on YouTube thus far. And if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button and a big thumbs up, it does help my channel to grow and get noticed just a little bit more. Here are some other videos if you are interested. And next week, I'll have a new video for you that will be Easter. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!